Hey everyone, Lisa here from Healing from Burnout. Hey, I'm all about helping women get relief from burnout holistically and permanently so that you can get on and live an inspired and empowered life and obviously get your health and vitality back. So let's have a little chat today about what the heck an adrenal crash is. I dealt with severe adrenal fatigue after ending a relationship and ending a business in which I had to put into liquidation and eventually go bankrupt. Fun, fun, fun. Not. And the whole process left me completely and utterly burnt out. But the good thing is that I learnt some really amazing things over the past few years that did really help me to recover. And I'm here to tell the story and here to help you. So, yeah, you might have heard this term. Dr. Michael Lamb, in his book Adrenal Fatigue Syndrome, talked about this term, adrenal crash. And basically, what it means is it's when your body has gone beyond its capacity to cope in that moment, and it can look really, really different for many people. Depending on what's going on for you right in that particular time. So. I'll give you a few examples of what happened to me. So one day I was out walking. It was middle of the day, and it was much hotter than I expected it to be. And I was also out for much longer than I expected to be. I came home, had a big, huge gulp of water, and pretty soon after that, I was completely and utterly wiped out for a few days. So the thing is, what preempted this is that when your body's stressed, you have a tendency to be a little bit more dehydrated to start with. So my going out in the sun dehydrated my system further. Also then having the big gulp of water, too much water too soon, upset the internal chemistry of my body. And bang, it was beyond my capacity to cope in that moment. Somebody who's really doing well can tolerate being out in the sun, no problem at all. In fact, I used to grow up playing tennis in the Brisbane heat here in Australia, and I was absolutely fine. I used to just hydrate the night before, and I was fine. So my body was in a much healthier state. So, on that particular day, I probably already started a little bit dehydrated, going out in the sun for that length of time, and with the intensity of the heat on that particular day, it was just all too much. So what generally happens is that your symptoms that you're feeling at the time can become worse, and you can develop new symptoms. So that day the levels of fatigue were much greater. I had an upset gut. That was already a symptom that I was experiencing, but it was worse. But really, the biggest thing in that time was the level of fatigue. It was hard for me to even just do basic things around the house. I depleted myself that much. So, it took a few days for the chemistry of my body to balance itself back out. Another example. One day I was out and my blood sugar was dropping. It was getting very, very low. And in my great need to lift it back up, I bought a cupcake. I was already having food sensitivities, and I hadn't eaten stuff like this in a while. And I wish I hadn't that day, because the white flour had such a severe reaction on my body, and my gut was very disturbed for the next few days after that. Not just for a day, next few days. And again, the level of fatigue that I felt was huge. So it was much greater, much more intensified than it had been. So it's just another example. If your gut's in a good balanced state, you can probably tolerate having something that you don't normally have, or your reaction wouldn't be as severe. So where I was at on that particular day at that time, my system could not tolerate that, and it sent me over the edge. It was beyond the capacity of my system to cope. Hey, if anyone's here, do say hi. I love it when you say hi, and it makes me feel like I'm not so alone. It tells me there are a few of you watching. So don't be shy. Please say hi. Okay, and I'll give you another example. This is pretty soon after my lowest point, actually. I did some weights. I hadn't done them for a few months, and I tried. It was just pretty light weights. But it wasn't good, because the next day, in fact, that same afternoon and into the following few days, again, I was so fatigued. So fatigued. Katarina, hello, from Sweden. Wow, isn't this technology amazing, hey? We can reach each other all over the place. So yeah, it was another situation. Hi, Gerda. Great, thank you for saying hi. Nice to see you all here. So yeah, these are all examples of situations in which I went beyond my capacity to actually cope. So, my call out to you is understand where you're at right now, and don't beat yourself up for where you are. It's a process. We're all doing the best we can at any given time. But just know, if your gut's particularly disturbed at the moment, don't go eating foods that you don't normally. Don't succumb to peer pressure. If you're out to dinner somewhere, even if it's at a friend's place, don't be cajoled into eating foods that you don't normally. This is about your self-care. This is about speaking up for what you need. This is about holding the energetic container, the physical container of what you need to recover. Because, all these crashes have a knock-on effect. If you do something that sends your gut over the edge, it's not only that immediate moment, but it's the knock-on effect that it has for you. And that in turn creates a greater level of stress in your system, and oh my goodness, you can just get stuck in this, round and round cycle. Anna, hello Anna from Dubai. Goodness me, you're coming from far and wide today, everyone. I'll just read Anna's comments. So she said, I experienced the same thing on dehydration. Thanks for sharing. I don't feel so alone. Yeah, it's a really important point, the dehydration thing. I think, I certainly didn't realize at the time what how stress can play with the chemistry of your body. And you tend to start with a default level of being slightly dehydrated, when you wouldn't normally. So, just start to understand what makes your symptoms worse, or what increases your symptoms. So, we're really trying to develop new ways, new habits, new way of living, basically. But it just happens one piece at a time, one step at a time. And this stuff with adrenal crashes, it's not just when you're in the level of severe adrenal fatigue. This stuff begins way back, but it just happens in a much milder form, so we don't even realize that we're crashing in some way. We might have gone away for the weekend, not had enough sleep, too much alcohol, and we arrive back exhausted. But if the levels of stress in your body are not as bad, then you have a greater capacity to recover. But it's still in some way it's an adrenal crash. It's just happening in a much milder form. But the thing to understand is that each time you put your system under pressure like this, it just creates a little bit of a weakening, so that maybe the next time you go away for the weekend, and don't get the same amount of sleep, you have a stronger reaction. And your ability to bounce back is just not quite as good. So the sooner we can nip this in the bud, so to speak, the sooner we can stop the symptoms getting so bad. But as I said before, please don't beat yourself up. That's the last thing you want to do. we want to get into new habits, you know, where you're treating yourself kindly, loving yourself, caring for yourself, you know, really allowing this container of you to be taken care of at a deeper level than you ever thought possible. You know, and I tell you what, you know, you're doing that has such a profound effect, not, I mean, obviously for you, but for those around you. You know, while initially you might get a little bit of jip from people, you know, because you want to, you know, perhaps don't want to eat certain foods, or you don't want to do something because you instead want to stay home and do yoga, or, you know, whatever it might be. You know, it doesn't really matter what it is. But over time, the benefits of you taking care of yourself and showing to others that you really value yourself and care for yourself will have such a great knock-on effect to every person that you touch, you know, directly and indirectly. You know, this can have such an amazing ripple effect. So, you know, I'm here to help you. I'm here to bring you back from burnout, stress-related issues, from a very, very holistic place. You know, you want to live a life of vitality. I know you do. You know, we all want that. And I know you want to live your life from an empowered place, from an inspired place. And it's extremely hard to do that, isn't it, when you're not feeling well, when your life force is just literally being drained and sucked out of you. You know, it's not meant to be like that. But it takes for you to rescue yourself. It's time to forget the rescuing of others. It's time to rescue you. You know, you matter. You're important. And it certainly, you know, it took me a while to learn this too. You know, that's what got me into the burnout state as well. Giving to everyone else. It's time to, you know, give back to you. This is what it's going to take. Gerda said, "You cannot imagine how I needed the words." Oh, that's wonderful, Gerda. I'm glad that was helpful. So, as you go into your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, just consider what you can do today for you. You know, is there something that you need to adjust in your day? Have you committed to something that you perhaps don't really want to? Just consider what you need, okay? Because you matter. You're important. You know, the world needs you to be the best you. I think it was the Dalai Lama who said, "The Western woman is going to save the world." You know, so let's do it. Let's do it. You can come back. Billy, can you talk louder, please? Very hard to hear you, and I have on full volume. Oh, okay, Billy. Maybe next time I'll use the earpieces. I think the volume's probably better on that. Actually, is that better? Maybe I just have my hand over the microphone. Maybe you can just say yes or no, Billy. All learning. My apologies. I'll just wait for your response. Gerda said, "Because I'm always giving and putting my self-love and caring on the very last place. And it feels like being exhausted." Yeah, Gerda, I'm afraid when we give and give, you know, our life force is literally totally drained from us. Thanks for that, Billy. Yeah, I think I had my hand covering part of the microphone. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. Gerda, it's time to change this. It's time to change this. I know you can do it. I know you don't want to live like this. You know, you deserve this. You deserve a better life. You deserve a life where your needs are taken care of. Okay, well, my battery's about to run out of my phone, so I'm going to leave it there. Just also to let you know, I have got a new free download over on the website. So it's called 7 Adrenal Fatigue Myths. So if you haven't got your copy of that yet, please head over to the website, HealingFromBurnout.com, and you can get your free copy there. Okay, that's it for today. Do take care, and remember that you matter. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.